Hey, Jeff here. So, got something in the mail today. I figured I'd give a quick show of this. The we can call this Thursday. Is today Thursday? No. Today is Tuesday, but it's going to be Thursday on a Tuesday because Thursday, if you know about the days of the week, is actually named after, supposedly, they say, the god Thor. And so today is Thors-day, but it's a Tuesday because today the new Thor album arrived. This should have arrived last week, before the end of the week actually. It was slated to be here, but you know how the mail is. They decide sometimes that they want to hold on to the package for an extra few days. So I found, and then the holiday weekend slowed everything down. So anyway, it showed up today. This is the new Thor album, Alliance, and I have given this a spin, and I must say it has got to be one of the better ones. I mean, I like everything Thor does, and some of his stuff can be campy, and some of it, you know, is really solid for anybody to enjoy. I like it all, campy, solid, whatever. But this whole thing is solid. Now, there are, in this case, quite a few guest appearances on here, which he's done recently. It's on silver. Yeah. But let me show you here some of the people. The artwork is beautiful. That is such a cool artwork. It's a gatefold, single album, but gatefold. There's no insert because it's a gatefold. And you can see here, it's got all kinds of names listed here. So the album itself, the vinyl record itself, has 12 songs. And it's got John Gallagher of Raven, Bjorn Strid of Soilwork, Chris Holmes, formerly of Wasp, Ross the Boss from Manowar, formerly. People here that you may or may not know more: Dan Cleary from Stryker, Neil Turbin from early Anthrax, Danko Jones. Frank Soda is one of the early guitar players with Thor back in the days of the Imps. And it's got Dennis Post from Warrior Soul, one of the guitar players. Trevor William Church from Haunt does some guitar work, and then Sean Peck from Death Dealer. So I mean, it's just you can see it's got a breakdown of all the different songs. So now I have made the comment in the past on how, you know, because most bands nowadays self-produce their own music and self-engineer and all that stuff. They don't usually have people come in and do a lot of stuff. And so it seems like there's always, on almost every Thor album, there's always that one, at least one song where it just seems like you question whether it should have been on there. Something's off key, something doesn't sound right, it doesn't flow right, and it's just kind of like, you know, you wonder who in the sound booth is saying, yeah, that's a great track. So I always say, I've said that before in the past. Now, I've listened to this whole thing just one time, and I'm not finding that. It's some of the heavier moments, it's some of the most solid stuff that he's ever released. Now, that being said, there are 12 tracks on here. I also bought the CD just because that's how I roll. And the CD has 17 tracks. So, amongst those extra 5 tracks, could there be one of those songs that I feel might have been easier to have scrapped than to have kept on there? We'll see. The CD itself, pretty much all the same artwork. It's got a book in here that has pretty much the same imagery and stuff from the album. So, the artwork, and then all the credits and stuff, the photos of the people involved, the band. So, typical standard fare for this release. And I have not listened to the CD yet. I did give the record a spin, and I just haven't put this in yet to see about these extra 5 songs. Now, this is one of the first times this has happened in quite a while. And the thing is, Thor has been very active recently. Now, back in the in the 2000s, when he started, late 1990s, he started kind of coming back into play. And then in the 2000s, he put out a few albums, few recordings. They were kind of scattered, and he was reissuing stuff from the old days and reissuing older stuff, kept reissuing stuff. And then there's albums that you're like, this sounds like it could be reissues of older stuff, but it's kind of hard to tell. There was not a whole lot. There was a handful of really good albums in the mid-2000s that I think are really good, but everything was a little all over the place, different recordings, different bands, things along that line. But ever since like the past 5 or 6 years, he's been pretty solid every year. So I went back and pulled it And so, of course, we have this year's 2021, and then we had 2020. We had Rising, and again, another solid album. Though there is that one song, I think I found at least one on there that was kind of a could have been left off with no problem. New younger band on this album, which I think is, I didn't compare, but probably real similar. They look like they could be similar to the new album. So musicianship is very, very, very impressive tight. There's a lot of great stuff on the new album, everything. So, but then in 2019, the year before, Hammer of Justice. This one was on. Most all these are on Deadline, part of Cleopatra. And so they're all having the same, they're all being colored and looking nice. Again, very solid. I don't think, I'd have to go back and look. I'm not 100% sure if the newer band was on here. I really noticed a difference with Rising. The new band really, it just was, musically was really solid. And then in 2018, he had a Christmas album, Christmas in Valhalla. Not typical him doing Christmas songs that you're familiar with. These are all like Thor related songs about Christmassy type stuff, so it's not the typical Donner and Blitzen, Gonna Have a Rockin' Christmas, It's Christmas Time Again, Sleigh Rider, Last Christmas, Lend Me Your Ears, Not So Little Drummer Boy. Just all kinds of more of an original Thor twist, Valhalla Christmas. So again, there's a new album there for 2018. And then in 2017, okay, I had the CD for that. Beyond the Pain Barrier. Why this one was not on vinyl is kind of confusing. Just because of this long string of them. So we had that, and that was in 2017. And in 2016, this is not really, I guess you can't really count this as a new album, because I Am Thor, I recently got this in. Actually, I haven't shown it in a video before. It's the soundtrack to the movie that came out. Good movie, and very cool look at, this kind of reminded me of the Anvil movie, where these guys, like Anvil, Thor has put out lots and lots of music and has got a cult following in many places, but for the most part, super popularity has eluded him, but he's continued on. In this, he talked about how he was going to retire, and that was 5 albums ago. So I would say he's put out 5 of some of his most solid, heavier stuff. So he's getting better with age. Anyway, and then hold on. Then we go back to this. So then we have Metal Avengers. So this is 2015. So again, and this one had some guests on here too. JJ French. That was on red. So he had a couple people on here. Fast Eddie Clark, Henry Rollins, Brian Forsyth, JJ French, Betsy. So there's been some, there was some collaboration stuff on here too. And again, very solid album. But I'm pretty sure along the way, pretty much, oh, maybe this one does. Okay, so I'm saying most of the time the albums match the CD, but I'm thinking on this one there were extra tracks on the CD. So again, it's kind of like vinyl can only hold so much. You can't really go with the double record set. And then I pulled this out looking at this. This was like the album that came before that. There was Thunderstrike and Thunderstrike 2. This was Thunderstrike 2012. There was a Thunderstrike 2. For some reason, I never got on vinyl either. And this was more or less music from the vault, stuff that had come from 2016, and it says it was recorded all the way through 2012. So, 1976 through 2012. So it's got an old classic feel, and there's a lot of old tracks on here, and I'm not sure they might have edited, maybe added some stuff, kind of did some additional musicianship in 2012, but for the most part, this is a lot of the same kind of stuff he had done, which I love, where he goes back into the vault and pulls out songs that maybe have never been released in forever. But anyway, so yeah, this is so Alliance. Anyway, if you've given Thor a casual listen, or maybe you're not as familiar with him, again, been around since the 70s. Really got into the metal movement stuff in the early 80s, and has released a lot of good stuff. And there's just a lot of he's always active, has a lot of music out, but never has really people have heard of him, got a very big cult following, lots of people follow him, but maybe not as popular as that you may not know him. So very excited to have that, and yeah, I'm looking forward to anything I can get my hands on Thor, because I'm one of those guys that just collects it all. That's all for now, though. Wanted to share. Thanks a lot for watching. Rock on and rock hard.